credit cards and petty cash. From the main menu, select bank, with your various menu options. First one is bank account. So if you have multiple bank accounts, credit cards, you click on bank account. You'll get your list of all your bank accounts. So in the test company, we've got a main bank account, an investing bank account, a foreign currency bank account, and 3 credit cards. One for workshop, one for petrol, and another one for a foreign currency. Once you've selected your bank account, you've got your various menu options. You've got a couple of ways to enter your transaction: a data entry, a payment entry, a receipt entry. You've got your bank reconciliation, matching your transactions in the bank to your bank statement. The worksheets, the list of transactions and some reports. A summary report, a detail report, and a pivot table. Going into the worksheet, which is the list of transactions, you can select any start period to any end period. Once again, the year is divided into 12 periods. Period 1 is the first month of the period. For the test company, it runs from March 2022 to February 2023. Selecting 1 to 12, that will be the full 12 months of bank transactions through the main bank account. In this case, there's 2,135 transactions going through the bank account, and if I arrow up, you'll see the list of transactions. Go right to the beginning, arrow all the way to the top, and we have the opening balance in the bank of 287,235.59. The headings in the bank account is the date of the transaction. The SRC is the source code. The normal codes are CBP, CBR, or CB. CBP is cash book payments, CBR cash book receipts, and CB is just cash book transactions. Number is the number of the transaction. You can use any number sequence you want. It's a good idea to link the number to your source transaction. PR is the period number. Period number 1 is for March 2022. The general ledger code. So as in accounting, we've got the one side of the transaction is the bank. So for the first transaction, it's a payment. So it's credit the bank, ABO1, crediting with 659.19. And the other side is EIO1 with 573.21. And the VAT portion BVO1 with 85.98. And that makes up the first transaction. This little solid line at the top of the screen, it's the T, the old T account. On this side is the one side of the T account, ABO1, and on this side is the other side of the T account. In this case, it's EIO1 or BVO1. The other headings are the GL code. So that is all the general ledger codes of the transaction, the SC code. So this is the supplier's code or the customer code. R code is if you are buying for inventory. The A code is an activity code. If you want to group transactions by a certain activity, you can use that code. The name is the name of the person you pay or the name of the person that's paying the company. So in this case, they are paying R659.19 to BrightRock. And that's the name of the company. There's your debits and credits. The BR, the Y, is ticking it off the bank statement. Details, you can write any details about the transaction, and then the match number is for debtors and creditors. If you're running open item, you can enter the invoice number or the GRV number. Right, to enter a transaction, there's a couple of ways to do it. Under bank, you can go to data entry, payment entry, or receipt entry. So in this case, we're going to go to data entry. This is your input screen for posting to the bank account. So in this case, it's a blank screen. The transactions are entered on the worksheet in code blue. So the font, the color will be blue, which means you can still edit it. Once you've entered your transaction, you click on Post to Bank. So let's enter that BrightRock transaction that we saw now. We go to data entry. Screen comes up, date, select the date of the transaction. And as you saw there, it was 2022, March 1. So OK. It's a CBP or CB. Starting number is 1, period number is 1, and the GL code was EIR1. So there's a couple of ways to do this. You can type it in and it finds it as insurance, or you can just click on the drop down and you can find it on your drop down with all your GL codes. Or another way is if you've got this little folder just to the right of the codes, if you click on that, you can either type in part of the code or you could just type in insurance, a couple of letters, and the computer will find all the GL codes that have the word INS. Select it. There's no supply, there's no inventory, there's no activity. So we could put BrightRock. Amount was 659.19. We can allocate a VAT line to it, and once we're happy, we just update it, and the transaction is now entered, ready to be posted to the bank. Second line item, we can carry on entering, as we can just go data entry. We know it's the same date, we know it's number 2, we know it's period 1, and this one was ECO2. And it wasn't to BrightRock, it was to Alpha Stationery. And it was for 3689. You can update it right to the list, and if we want to assign a VAT number, we can just click on VAT and there it allocates the VAT. Put a V, click on insert the VAT row, and bank it, and the transaction is ready to be posted to the bank. If I click on Post to Bank, all the accounting will be updated. The amount will go to the debit side and the credit will go to the bank, and the bank account will be updated. Another way to do data entry is you can click on the payment screen, the pay option. Slightly different way to do it is you get the right date, select your CB, CBP, CBR, payment number 1, period number 1, allocate it to the GL code EIR1. The name is BrightRock. Amount is 659.19. Okay, put in the amount. Input 659.19. And we can write some details. It's for insurance, motor vehicle. Edit, and we can allocate a VAT to it as well. Head it to the input, no, and there is a transaction ready to be posted to the bank account. Okay, once all the postings have been done, you can click on Go to BR, which is the bank recon, or you can click on bank recon. What the bank recon shows is the balance per the bank statement. In this case it's minus 1250936, and these are the transactions that haven't gone through. So to allocate it, you just double click. It will take what the previous balance per bank statement is. It will apply the 35187 to it and give you a new balance per bank statement. Okay, it's going to go into more negative, and once you post it, or post, it will come off the bank recon list, and the new balance per bank statement will come across into the balance per bank statement field. And so you carry on until all your transactions have been allocated to the bank account. Going back into the bank, so we've looked at data entry, payment entry, receipt entry. There are other ways to do data entry. We can just use this new or same. What new does is it just writes your line item, and you can just enter it straight onto the input sheet. Go new, and you can go same, or you're doing a split transaction. And you've got various other options to enter your information straight onto the screen, do your correct double entry, type in the Y if you're allocating it from a bank statement, some details. Once you complete it, you can then just post it to the bank and all the accounting is updated. You can also have an input screen where you've entered some transactions and you can save it. Okay, yeah, I just put in bank. If you go out, come back in to your data entry, and you retrieve it. That input is still available for you to edit, carry on working on, and only once you edit it and you're happy with it, you can post it to bank. The other options for bank, once you've updated it, is you've got a summary report. What the summary report is, you can get the totals for any period. So if I say in period 12, I will get the totals that went through the bank statement or the bank account for period 12, in this case is February 2023. I can double click on any one line item, double click, and I'll see the list of transactions that make that up. 185,683, and there they are. We've also got a detail report, so you can take any period, once again period 12, and you will see all the transactions that go through for February 2023. If you just want to see the movement, is you can remove this balance BF. Click on the black arrow pointing down, I come down, I find, I remove it. Now you only see the movement for period 12. This will obviously help you a lot with your cash flows. And there you can see all the movement and allocations for period 12. Another option is a pivot report. So if I click on pivot table, select periods 1 to 12. I will now get the whole year pivoted with the movement for that period. So in period 1, minus 4176,288. So the debtors was credit debtors, is the GL code ADR1, debit bank, and the rest are debiting the various expense accounts. Also got on the right the pivot table options, which you can slice and dice and move around. And what you can also do is you can select any number that's in your pivot table. If you double click on it, you will have the transactions that make it up. So 9662, I double click, I will see the transactions straight from the database that make up that 962.07. Okay, just be careful, it inserts a sheet, so if you click previous, it will close your pivot, but if you click on WS pivot, you'll come back to your pivot report. If you click on the totals, any one of these totals, you'll get all the transactions for the 12 months. And there you have it, the bank transactions.